Hello, my friends. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Shawn with Manly Made Minute, and today we're doing a design team series video for Include a Thank You. And I did a card for her spring release, and the technique I did, I've been wanting to do a video on this since the day I released it. I promised I would do a video, and I'm months and months and months late, but I'm still getting it out. I'm really excited for this because this one is so easy. It looks and sounds hard, but it also brings you back to like elementary school arts and crafts, and like we're getting out Crayola. We're getting out Crayola crayons, and we're gonna melt them. But we're gonna one level up on this, and we're gonna blend them, and we're gonna custom blend them and shade them with some flowers. It sounds hard, it can get messy, and it can get hot because we're gonna use our heat embossing gun. All right, so these can get hot, so we're gonna be careful with our fingers. So I am just super excited to do this. Let me show you the card really quick that I did. So this, whoops, this side, this side, this side, there we go. This card right over here is the card that I made for her spring release, and it is using the floral, a tangled floral box stamp set, and all of that, the background and the shaded florals, is all melted crayons. All right, so we're gonna repeat and make this card and show you what I did. All right, but before we do that, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Would love to have you be part of my journey here on YouTube and Instagram, and follow me. Give me that thumbs up and a comment. It is much, much appreciated. And hopefully we just have some fun along the way. Speaking of fun, let's go down. I'm ready to melt some crayons and make a card with the Desiree Tangles Include a Thank You Spring Release, a floral box. And I'll show you this stamp set, okay? Let's take a look. Here is my stamp set, and we're going to use this stamp off of this set. I've already pre-stamped it because I needed that ink to dry, so I'm using Memento ink, and I just needed it to dry, and so I have to dry it here on camera for you. If you go back, I have a live release video, and I'll link it below in the comments for you. You got to go back and watch all the cards I made with this stamp set. This one in particular, there's a fabulous one. There's a greenish one that's themed here with this bottom one that's fabulous, and then this card that we're making today. All right, so let's get started. If you've got crayons, get them out. If your kids got crayons, go steal them and melt them and buy them a whole new set, because they're not going to like what you're going to do to these crayons and how they look when you're done. Okay, so first one I'm going to do, I want to do the background. And if you look, let's at that card, that whole background was melted crayons. All right, so we're just going to smear them, melt them, squish them, just do some, all over the background. No particular colors. I just picked kind of what's kind of grabbing me for the time being. I don't have a theme in mind. I don't have a color theme in mind. I'm on a turquoise kick right now, so we're gonna grab some as close to turquoise as I can find it, and then maybe a little, that one I haven't used yet, so some red with that. I'm gonna peel back the paper because you're gonna melt these, and it's gonna go beyond that paper once it starts melting. Okay, so just give yourself some leeway. I love my yellow greens, so we're gonna pull out some yellow green in this. I bought these at the dollar store, everyone. I did not, they're not expensive anyway, right? I bought them at the dollar store, and I knew what I was going to be doing with them. I'm going to grab a nice bright orange too, I think, in that little mix. And we're going to start with that. Actually, you know what? I got black on the card last time, and I'm going to throw a little black in there just for a little something splatter, little accent on the black. But look at what it does to them. Look at the tip of that, how it just melts it down. All right? You're going to do this if you want to have some fun. Get out your crayons and start melting. All right? Here's what we're going to do. For this technique, I just need this to drip and smear and do stuff with it. So you're going to do a little bit different technique when we put it on paper and start blending it. So get your gun going nice and hot, and we're gonna squish and smear. All right. Keep your fingers out of the range of this so it doesn't get hot on you, and just start melting that crayon down. It'll start melting real quick. Once it gets hot and starts melting, it's gonna go fast. And there it goes. All right. So I am just melting and smearing. And smear. It already melted the tip off, you can see. Ooh, I love this color actually. I'm on this turquoise blue kick lately. And I don't know if it's just because all the mermaid stuff that's come out and all the fun watery stuff and coral stuff and different things, but this turquoise has just got me. Look at that, half of a crayon almost gone off of that. All right, we gotta have some yellow green. I think would look great with this. And you can get this as chunky as you want, smooth this out, but you gotta move quick because once it starts to, you take the heat away, it hardens real quick. That's why we're gonna do a slightly different technique when we go to do this on our stamp. All right. And I like to get it kind of waxy too, get some stuff on there. Okay, these chunks broke off. I'm gonna just melt them right here on the paper. Look how fast that melts. I'm gonna scoot in just a little bit so you guys can see up close here. I don't mind that it stays chunky either. Be careful so you don't burn your paper. You can remelt some of this. You get some movement going on there. All right, I want that orange in there. Now I'm gonna do these 3 colors, I think, and then some black on there. I'm gonna take some chunks off since it broke off. And we're just gonna melt this and let this run. What gave me this idea is if you've seen those paintings that people do where they tape the crayons at the top of the canvas and then they just melt it down, that's kind of what gave me the idea for this. But in more of a, I wanted it in a more of a, like a mixed media kind of fashion. Again, be careful so you don't start your paper on fire. This wax will get very hot. I want this to run so that I see this red from beyond my floral that we're going to put on here. I'm actually digging right where that's at. I'm actually liking right where I'm going to leave it right there. Now, I want to take my black and just get some dots of black through this. So what I did before is I just kind of let this drip as if I'm doing splatter. And once it starts melting, you can just move it and splatter that on as if it's like watercolor splatter. All right. That's it. That is it. That's my background. It dries and hardens pretty quick, all right? So we're going to set this aside. Let me just wipe up my mess here a little bit. I'm going to take these chunks off because I can save those chunks and I can use them on another background. Okay. I'm going to have to get a razor blade because that's already hardened on there, but that's okay. Now, slightly different technique when you do this. Go back and look at that picture now. There's ombre blended here. I'm not going to worry too much about my fine detail. It's going to be too hard with these little fine detailed things to get what you know, that fine detail. But we're going to ombre. We're going to do some blending on this. You're going to need a blending stump. I am just using a big blending stump. I don't need a fine one. I need one that's big, easy to hold, not too thin where I have to get in here and get my hands in the heat. Just get a big blending stump and you're going to blend this out. Now to do this, you're going to heat the paper, but not too much. It'll heat up quick with your gun and you don't want to burn it. Heat it and then smear and blend. heat it, smear, and blend. Okay? Heat, smear, blend is what you got to remember when you do this. I am going to do, because I thought that you're going to want some lighter color first, and then your darker color to blend. So I think I'm going to go with, let's see. I think I want to blend. Do I have a pink? I do have a pink. I'm going to go pink, but then I'm going to use that turquoise, I think, from that background, and do that with my blending. So I'm just going to peel back paper here. And these were like super cheap, so they're breaking easy. But right, I just needed cheap. I didn't need expensive to melt them and waste them like this. So I just went super cheap. Okay. If I have to stop and do some more paper ripping here, we will. Okay. Heat, smear, and blend. All right. And that paper will cool relatively quick. So now, I go low because I don't need this heat blasting too much for me. And I'm just going to heat that one leaf. I'm doing one leaf at a time on this. And I just want that nice and heated up, but not too much. And then smear that in there. And now blend it out with your blending stump. You got to work quick because this will, and if it starts to harden on you, give it a little heat. Just soften it up again and smear that. All right, I'm going to go to the second one. Heat, smear, and blend. I'm going to get some right up on. We're going to actually do two different colors, I think, on this one. So I'm going to go the front outer edge, if that makes sense, of that flower on these, of that petal. We'll do the back sides here with something different. Okay, heat, smear, and look how hot that paper gets. And blend. And I do one leaf at a time, because otherwise the paper cools. So it's just one little section, whether you're doing a floral or whatever you're doing, small areas work best. I tried to do about 3 at a time when I practiced this for the release, and yeah, it just doesn't work because it just cools too fast on you. Is this not fun or what? I just, it's so different that I'm like, it just makes it fun because now you've got a totally different technique, but it looks like ink blending. But here's the fun part about this too. From a in-person texture standpoint, now when you go to feel this, they're gonna feel that this is not ink, which is gonna, it's gonna make that recipient go, what is this? Like, this is so cool, the texture. It's a feely card too. And look how fast, this is going really quick, isn't it? Like, this is not like a sit and putz and blend nice with your markers and your colored pencils and stuff kind of card. This is not that kind of card. I mean, you can go slower, but you got to move fast because of the way this heats up. If you get little spots, just heat it up a little bit and just give it a little extra blend. I might do like a red, I think, on that back side, and then do my turquoisey blue on the front one to blend it out. You'll notice on the one that I did, on the one that I showed on the screen, that was yellow and orange. All right, I'm going to switch. I'm going to turn this off just so that I can, purple would be good too. I'm actually going to go, no, gosh, here's decisions. Yeah, I think I'm going to go purple. I'm going to go purple on these little backside pieces, and then we're going to go, I think I might go red or that turquoise blue in the front here to ombre that out. So let me just peel back a little bit more on this one. All right. On low. Don't want this blasting on you. Heat, smear, and blend. That's all you got to remember. Get a t-shirt out of that, and they're going to really wonder what you got going on. Heat, smear, and blend. I'm going to reheat that just a little bit to melt it so I can smear that out. Alright, next little spot. See if I can get that whole leaf going before it hardens up too much on me. Some of these little sections can be tough. But this one for me was like, when I did this release, this card and one other card that I think I'm gonna have to do a video on were just my favorite. This was my second release I think I've done with Desiree and on her design team. I did fall and holiday last year, and this was my favorite technique I've done on her cards so far. And what I would suggest, because you need to get used to how this melts, how fast it melts, how fast it dries, I would suggest doing the background first, or doing a background at least first, just so that you get a feel for the crayon and the wax and how hot this gets and how much it melts it. Melts it on the paper, melts it right directly. It's going to take a practice session or two, and I'll be honest, when I did the release, I just did make a card and then did a release on it. I practiced this probably 3 times with 3 different stamps. I knew I wanted to see if I could ombre with it and blend with it, but I tried directly to the paper, like with this, and melting it together, and I tried different ways, right? I'm going to melt some of this just a little bit and blend a tiny bit of some of these. So I did try a couple different ways, and you're just gonna have to play with it and see what you get. All right, that's my back side. Now I'm gonna do my front ombre. Then we're gonna go around the edge with some yellow and yellow greens. Again, because I love my yellow greens. So let's do. I was gonna do maybe orange, but no, I think I'm gonna stick with my red idea. We're gonna do some red violet. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna go with this turquoise because I love this. This color was just so pretty. So we're gonna do this turquoise. Now this one is what I'm gonna do my blend with. All right, on the pink side. So heat up. Does not take very much at all when you do this. So don't smear a whole lot in there because it's not gonna take a whole lot. Okay. Check that out. Is that not cool or what? Now watch what I do. I hardly put any down. I'm tapping it in just to get it to melt down, and then I blend it out right away. So I'm going to tap, it's melting down. I just need a little line. And before that starts drying out on me, pull that up. Okay? Same here. Each petal. I already know what I'm going to do with that accent piece already. I've been thinking about it. I'm not going to tell you right now because I'll show you. You guys, I really think this is just so pretty. The way this blends out. Okay, pull that out. Got a little too much on that one, but that's all right. Again, you got to be careful not to hold that to paper too long. You can smell it start to burn a little bit, like that one. I'm like, oop, I'm getting a burn. You can smell it. If you've gone too far, just start pulling that off and take the heat away. Don't start your craft room on fire, heaven forbid. Just a little tap. You don't need much in there. Okay, that's my flowers. I gotta zoom in on this before we finish because this, I just love this so dang much. Is that not cool or what? Okay, now I'm gonna do my background. I'm gonna do little accents, same as I did. I'm gonna do my yellow green, and actually I'm going to use this one. This one's a little darker. This yellow green, and then I'm going to smear that around. Then I'm going to go back and accent with my darker green. Okay. Little sections again at a time, so you can't do too much on this one either. But I'm not going to lay down a lot of color because it's a small area, and I don't need a lot of color on that. And hang on. You're going to get wax on this, so have a sandpaper. I usually have a big, huge sanding block from like the hardware store, but this came with my last set of stumps, so I'm going to use this. And when I moved, I didn't grab a sanding block, which I need to go to the hardware store and get a sanding block. All right, I'm going to remelt that just a little bit so I can smear that. Here's the cool part. I just had to pause, right? But this is still workable. Reheat it, and it's still workable. Smear that around. Now you could watercolor in between this. You could just leave this white. You could Copic color this. I'm just doing it all in crayon. Just to kind of show you that whole full effect here. Okay, let's get this other side. So. And then I'll go through and do some taps with that darker green and just do some little stuff probably in the corners there or something. I'm going to tell you though, when you go to do this, like I said, practice. Don't get frustrated with yourself. It's going to take you a couple times to get used to what this product's going to do, how much you need to lay down, and how to blend this out. It took me 3-4 times, like I said. So be patient. It's all about learning the product. How does this product react? Which it's no different than when you get a new set of inks, or you get something new. I am a little frustrated with myself because I love this technique so much. I'm mad I haven't done some more in between since the last time I did this. Honestly, just been busy, but it's so fun that I think the effect from the recipient standpoint is just so cool. And layout of this card, I'm literally going to cut this out. We're going to mat it on some black. I did pink, and yeah, I did pinks on the last card because it was matchy to the pink, or the yellow and the orange and stuff. But this time I thought black, because that way I can get these colors of the crayons just to pop out a little bit more. A little bit there. There we go. I'm going to just add a tiny bit over on this side to match a couple spots that got dark on the left side there. Yeah. Just add a little bit. And I need that purple. I see a little spot that I missed with that purple right there. Blend. Right. That's it for the crayons. It's that easy. But I have a few pieces left, right? I didn't do those white pieces and things. So I'm gonna get out hopefully this will color over some of these pieces that had the crayons on it. But let me get this rolled out here. Just get some, there we go, get that gold kind of primed on my pen here. That one's not as great. Let's try this one. Here we go. This one's rolling pretty good. All right, I'm just gonna go through with my gel pen and accent these little pieces. I could have blended these with crayon, but as I was going, I was like, no. On the last one, I think I did. I tried to do the crayon and blended it with pink, but this is a great little accent point. If I wanted to, I'm not going to, but I could trace over these with gold and do that. I'm gonna melt just a couple spots I see that I could blend just a tiny bit better. There we go. There we go. A couple little white spots that I just didn't get to the edge very good. I just want to cover those up. Okay, let's cut this out and mat this and see what we have for a card. I'm gonna zoom back out just a little bit here so we can get full picture. Sorry on the shake. My new setup here, my camera just shakes slightly. My countertop is not screwed down and secure really well because of my apartment. It is what it is. Just gonna have to be that way. All right. This is not very big in size, and it's just easy enough to cut it, then to use my trimmer. But the stamp set itself, the lines are not straight. It's a little jaggedy, but to cut it, I just cut straight. And then I just went through and I just kind of use a little Sharpie marker and fill in my little white sliver pieces that are showing kind of on the side here. Like so. All right, so this is just going to get matted on black. I just pre-measured, oh, I see a white spot. Pre-measured and cut. So I wasn't trying to do hard math. This gets to be hard math for me sometimes. I end up counting lines. I'm like, okay, so it's this wide, and it is 3 lines bigger on each side is what I need. That's how I measure. Math. I mean, I get the 1/8 and 3/8 and 7/8 and stuff. Pardon my head. I gotta lean over just so I get this straight on here first. I get the measurements, but sometimes it's just when I'm trying to figure out. I need the same width border. Like, oh, that's 2/8 on each side. I can't do it. I just do it's 2 lines or 3 lines or 2 lines and a little line is how I'll measure that out. Okay. This is nice and smooth and waxy. It's kind of cool. This is a little rougher because it's just roughed in there. All right. I'm going to probably weight this one down just a second until that adheres and tacks on. Do you remember parchment paper and how you would get something on parchment paper and then it got greasy? Look how greasy this gets from these crayons, from the wax. Okay, pardon the head here one more time. Oh shoot, I didn't cut this one down. All right, this is gonna get messy because I forgot I cut it the same size. Let's do this one more time. It's gonna get messy and I'll have to clean this afterwards, but that's okay. All right, we're gonna go 1/4 off. So 5 by 3 3/4. 5 and 3 3/4. Okay. And then my 5, and I may be able to cut off of that side easier instead of trying to cut through too much wax. All right. I'm just gonna have to clean that up when we are done. Put a little more glue. There we go. Now I got a border. And let's just even that out around. Put my block on there for one quick second while I move this around. Once we go to the face camera here in a second, I will. We're going to show you this when we're done. I'll show you on the face cam. Then I'll pop up the other one just so you can kind of see the two pictures. I didn't set it up so it won't pop up on this camera. It'll pop up on my face cam, and hopefully my face cam hasn't shut off on me because it's been shutting off on me. And I got to restart it. All right. Dimensionals for this, of course. I would love to do dimensionals. Glad you asked. And we'll just pop this up like so. I encourage you to try this technique. Let me throw up on here, let's see, do I have? I'll throw it up here when we go to the face cam. If you head to includeathankyou.com, the name of this set is a Tangled Floral Box. Beautiful set, tons of things you can do. I will put the link to my live release day so you can see the whole spring release that we did for her. And I'll put that in the description below so you can kind of see what other things I did with all her other stuff. All right, there we go. I love it. Little darker on the back. Red got a little dark. Oops, that's crooked. That's crooked. Watch the head again. I think that aqua and maybe some purple and yellow would have been just fine. All right, zoom in. I'll give you the close up here on the down cam. Great texture on this card. Fabulous, fabulous texture on this card. All right. Told you that camera was going to shut off on me, and I got to fix my my settings on my camera. But check this out, that front view of this. And let me throw up the other card right next to this so you can kind of see. So a little bit more bright and pink on the other one, a little more deeper, darker on this one. But same. I did the same exact techniques on both cards. So there you have it. Get out your crayons and get out a blending stump. A big one. You're going to need the big one so you don't burn your fingers and have to get too close and do little fine so the thing doesn't break, right? And start melting some wax down. All right. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for hanging with me. I've got my lives are coming back next week. I'm busy this week, so hence some of the pre-records. I will actually do some include a thank you lives as well because I think it'd be fun. I know there's many of you out there that watch that love Desiree Tangles and her Tangle designs. So we're going to do a live, and we might get out a fun technique like this because I'd love for you guys to craft along with me. All right. Thank you all so much, and until next time, I'll see you then.